Hi Aisha, it's Jesse here. I'm just recording a short video for you to provide some feedback on your website as you requested that I do. It's Monday the 28th, a little bit after 2 o'clock, and I'm just going to mention that I did a webinar the other night, which was all about online marketing, what to look for in a website, the do's, the don'ts, the pitfalls and the common mistakes and so on. So I'm going to include that video for you so that you can go through it in detail, and that'll give you an idea of some of the conversations that you can have with web developers, and make sure that you're asking all the right sort of questions. And the main reason I bring that up is that web marketing is a bit of an art, and one of the things that's most often overlooked in web marketing is the word marketing. Oftentimes it can become a process of building something aesthetically pleasing, but which is fine, but we need it to also get it to generate leads and new business for you as well. So I want to talk a little bit about the marketing elements today, a little less about the design elements. Design is such a personal thing, of course, although I do have a couple of comments that I'll make around the design as well. The first thing I would start with is I generally like the look and feel. I like the fact that it's got a clean design. I like the fact that you've got some good big bold images there. It's a very modern way of approaching things, and I think that's a good way to go. One or two things that I think let you down in the design element, at least initially at the moment, is this logo. The Smileworks Dental logo up there. I'm not commenting on the logo itself per se, but certainly in this particular instance, the images looks to be quite low resolution. It doesn't look crisp and clear compared to the other images there. And this particular logo looks like it's been taken from another kind of logo because it's got some text on there and it's got the phone number on it as well. So for a website, you don't really want that kind of logo with the phone number and little text there in such minute font that it's hard to read. So I would certainly ditch those elements. Now, having said that, when it comes to the phone number, it is very important that it is big and bold and obvious in your header. I realize that you have a contact page there, but most people won't scroll. And particularly because a lot of search is done on a mobile device, and I'm assuming this is a responsive theme that will resize depending on the device. The comment I would make is you need to have the phone number very prominently displayed in the header, and that phone number should be clickable, so that if I'm looking at this website on my phone and I wanted to call you, all I've got to do is tap the number on the screen and my iPhone will say, would you like to call this particular number? Because at the moment, for someone to call you from their mobile device, they're going to have to go down and click on the contact part of the navigation, which will take them to the bottom of the page, and then either click the number if it's clickable, or even worse would be to have to copy it down and then try and type it into the phone later. So my strong advice is to make sure you have the phone number prominently displayed at the top of the page with a call to action that says, call us now, or book an appointment today, or whatever the call to action is, followed by the phone number and that should be clickable, as I said. So that's the first comment I would make there about the design and the functionality. The second comment I would make is about these social media icons. There's a few comments that I would like to make about these. The first one here is we want to keep people on your page as long as possible. We want them to get to know you, to experience your practice through your website. And by putting your social media icons here in the navigation at the top of the page, we're actually encouraging your visitors to leave straight away, and we end up leaking a lot of visitors. So in fact, every marketer I know would say this is not a clever idea to have these icons at the top of the page. Some would even say that it's not a clever idea to have them at all on your website. Most people take a slightly more moderate approach than that and say, look, it's fine to have your social media icons there, but certainly at the bottom of the page rather than the top. So they've gone through your website and then they go out to your social media. You've got to also remember that if your online marketing collateral, all your online marketing resources were considered a solar system of sorts, then the website is the sun and everything else revolves around it rather than the other way around. So your social media platforms should be directing traffic back to your website. That's really the purpose of it, obviously for engagement and other things, but it's all about directing traffic back to your website rather than the other way around. So again, really, really important to understand that that's what social media is there for, and I would certainly remove the icons from the header in this particular instance and replace that with a call to action and the phone number. And just on that, I would say the font here for home, about, team, services, and the like could be a little bigger, particularly in relation to the font size of other elements of the site as well. It doesn't have to be huge, but certainly a little bit bigger than it currently is. So as we scroll down the page here, we've got this picture of you, which is great. A couple little design things here. This little fade out here is a little bit old-fashioned now. I'd probably like to see a cleaner image there, but that's just perhaps personal taste around design. But you can keep that as you like it. Just a general comment. What I like here is you've spoken about your goal. It's really important, I think, to communicate your philosophy, what it is you stand for, and understanding that people can copy what you do, but they can't copy who you are. So I think that it's really important here to understand what your philosophy is here. You talk a lot about cosmetics here. I think the member of the ADA is a little bit irrelevant in this particular piece of content. And certainly, you've got an emphasis on being affordable, where you're proud to offer some very affordable cosmetic options to your patients, and that's great. The comment I would make around all of that is you need to understand your ideal patient and be clear about who it is you're trying to attract with your marketing. Your marketing, in essence, should be designed to attract a particular kind of patient, and that patient is going to be the center of our marketing bullseye. So all that we do with our marketing is we're aiming for that particular patient. And of course, if we do attract others into the practice, that's fine, but your marketing should be driven towards the ideal patient. So if affordability and all those sorts of things is important for your ideal patient, then of course, you can talk about that. And so I'm making the comment not so much about the discussion around affordability, it's more making sure that that fits in with your ideal patient avatar. In the resource vault, you'll see that there is an exercise that you can go through around understanding your ideal patient avatar, getting clear about who they are, what their concerns are, what their aspirations are, what are the things that they look for, and coming back to the social media, we'll know what social media platforms that they have and they're active on. And one of the things I would say, just going back to the social media for a second, is by having 5 icons on the page, you're committing to keeping 5 social media platforms up to date. And there's nothing worse than clicking on a link to Instagram or wherever and finding an empty profile. So if you're not going to be able to commit to those 5 social media platforms, just pick the 1 or 2 that your ideal patient avatar is going to be found on and commit to supporting those well and ditch the rest at the moment. So that would be just another comment around that. So again, make sure that your content is written from the point of view of your ideal patient avatar. But I do like this section here where we're talking a bit about your goal and about your philosophy. I'm not sure if I've shared with you that I'm also in the process of creating our website. We've had a lot on of recent times and our website's dragging on a little bit, but I just wanted to show you a little bit of our content here. And this is version 2. It's obviously got a little way to go yet. But one of the things I wanted to share with you is what we believe. And you'll see here I've written, at the core of what drives us is a preoccupation with detail. We believe that quality takes time. And we believe in doing things right the first time, in precision and individualized care. It's what allows us to provide beautiful and long-lasting bespoke dentistry for our patients. So those are the sort of things that I'd like to see on your page, and you can copy mine if you like, but it won't necessarily resonate or be authentic if it's not what you guys believe. But equally, I don't think it's good practice to copy it anyway, because Google will penalize you for it. So just make sure you write something that is unique and your own. The point I make in showing you what we're doing is we're speaking very much about our beliefs and what our philosophies are and what we stand for. And so I think that's key for you as well. As I said, I don't ADA membership is particularly relevant and important in this instance, but if it is for your ideal patient, then of course keep it in. The section with the About Us is fine. I think that's okay. No problems there. The three things here, the on-site digital x-rays, computerized record keeping, and visiting orthodontist and surgeon, again, that's fine. I think you want to make sure that these three things are addressed, the three biggest problems or the three biggest concerns or aspirations that your ideal patient has. So just making sure that, if your ideal patient is really concerned about, minimizing radiation exposure, then certainly talk about that through digital x-rays, or if they're concerned about being referred elsewhere for an OPG or whatever, that's fine. If they're concerned about security of their records, that's fine too, and same with the orthodontist and visiting surgeon. But if those three elements are not what they're currently worried about, then I would change them out for something that's going to speak to them and identify or relate to their particular concerns or issues there. The meet the team thing I think is good. One of the things I would comment there is just to make sure that you guys all come across as humans. And I know that sounds a funny thing to say, but sometimes we can get so wrapped up with being professional and putting our best professional foot forward that we don't let people know about the person behind the profile. So one of the things in our profiles that we've kind of got written there, and this is just our particular sense of fun, you don't need to do this necessarily, but we do let people know a little bit about us. So for instance, I'm a bit OCD with carpets. It drives me mental when there's leaf litter from falling leaves being walked through our practice, so I'm often out with the dustbuster. So in my profile it says Jesse is a bit OCD and is in charge of the dustbuster, and when he's not doing dentistry you can find him vacuuming the floors or something silly like that. And Miranda's one says something along the lines of the most memorable thing a work colleague has ever said to her is will you marry me? Just little things like that. Now, again, you don't have to use exactly those same comments, but just let people know about your quirks. Let people know about the things that are important to you. And if you want a really good website to have a look at how this is done, I think really well, I'd commend you to have a look at Marque Lawyers, MARQUE lawyers.com.au. They do quite a nice job, and in fact I'll just bring it up while we're talking. And we'll bring these guys up and I'll show you some of the things that I think they do well. So if we look at Amber Sharp here, Amber is our workplace guru, one of the few people to have read both work choices and for work and be able to explain them to an audience that's still awake when she's finished. Amber didn't write the book on employment law because she isn't that boring, but she can make it sound like a real page turner. So just I guess little things like that I think are important, just to let people know a bit about you, and that it's okay to be personal as you go about this, because remember, we're in the relationship business, so don't be too afraid to share some stuff here. One of the things around the services thing here, obviously this design work has been put in place there, and part of me likes this, where you can expand out and get a few things here. One of the comments that I would make here is the font here is small, so again, make sure it's readable. Maybe it's just my eyes, the fact that I'm getting old, but you want to make sure that again, if your ideal patient avatar is 55 or beyond, I'm not sure if it is or isn't, that your font is big enough for someone to be able to read easily. It sounds so obvious when I say it like that, but you'd be surprised. With these services here, where possible, if you can get an image in there to describe some of the things that you're putting on there, I think that'll be good, because different people learn different ways. Some people are very happy to read, others prefer a picture, and so on. So again, just make sure you're covering some bases there for everyone, and that's good. One of the comments I'd make is basically this is a one-page website with some links out for your portfolio and for your blog, and there's some merit to that in terms of it's simple, but there are some challenges with it as well. And one is that we really want to make sure that you're ranking very well in Google. And in our website that we're currently building, we have like the team and the services and all those things as separate pages, as opposed to just being embedded on the one page. The reason we've done that is because we're aiming to rank for more than one place on the page in Google. So as you know, there's only 10 places on the front page of Google for any given search term. And what we want to do is have as many of our pages occupy as many of those spots as possible. So there's no reason why you can't, in theory, occupy all of page 1 with different pages of your website for a given search term. And I've seen that happen before, a long time ago now, but I've seen it done. It's very hard to do, but the point I'm trying to make is the more of page 1 that you can occupy, the more web traffic you're going to get to your website, and that's a good thing. So just food for thought. I prefer separate pages for services, but there's probably some rationale behind this that I'm not aware of at the moment. But you just need to weigh up the website in terms of it being able to deliver new business through search engine optimization as well. So just have a little think about that. The make an appointment with us today, it's a good strong call to action. I like the fact that that's clear. I would love to see that a little bit further up the page as well. Even if it's down in between this section here, make an appointment, or even after this bit about you, I'd love to see it further up the page, because I've scrolled and I've scrolled and I've scrolled, and now I get to make an appointment. So I think it does need to be very clear. I'd even have this button, make an appointment, right up in the header here. So ditch these icons, as we said earlier, have your phone number or make an appointment here. So you can have two buttons, one call us on, or the phone number, call today, boom, and another one that says make an appointment. So again, just food for thought. Leave it here as well. I think you should have it here. I just think you should have an additional version of this further up the page. One of the things I noticed when I loaded this site earlier is this part, the what our patients say, when it loads, it comes in at a funny angle. So if I just refresh the page, hopefully it'll do it, and we'll see how we go. And of course it's not going to do it now. But what I noticed is this came in at an angle, and I would say to you that you've got a nice clean design where people are scrolling down the page. To have this come in at an angle and then straighten up, I think is an animation that you don't need. I think it's a distraction, and I don't think you need to do that. Just be aware that if this is a testimonial area, you could get in a bit of strife as well. So I'm not sure what you're planning to put in here, but if it's testimonials or purported testimonials, then you might find that's a bit problematic if someone were to let the dental board know about it as well. So just be aware of the rules that AHPRA sets down. Alright, so the blog, yes, blogging is important. You need to blog regularly, so that's important as well. So one of the things I didn't quite understand is the difference between I'm assuming the portfolio is the before and after kind of shots, and the blog is a blog. But if you're going to blog, it's important that you develop an editorial mission, and what you're going to blog about, so there's consistency of theme, and you commit to a frequency that you can maintain. There's nothing worse than going to a blog and the last blog post was 26th of August 2014, because then I know that nothing's been done for a period of time. So again, it's important. And if you look at my blog over here, I'll just see how this goes. It's taking a little while to load for some reason today. If you go to my blog, it'll you'll see the blog posts have been coming out regularly, and that's really important because your audience will become accustomed to receiving their posts at a certain frequency. So today's blog went out, the 21st went out, the 14th went out, the 7th went out, the 29th of February went out, all that sort of stuff. So there's been one a week going now for a long time. So again, make sure that your blogging frequency is consistent, and there's nothing worse than an inconsistent blog. I think the map is good, no problems there. These sorts of icons, that's fine, no dramas there. And again, by all means have your social media icons down here, that's perfectly adequate as well. So hopefully that covers everything for you. It's given you enough to think about. So we spoke a bit about all these different elements, the portfolio and the blog. I know these do link out to other pages, but I think splitting some of this out onto other pages rather than having one whole website, one single page, that may benefit you. I'll send you this video as well as the other video that I mentioned earlier, but again, Aisha, one of the things I'm assuming is you've done some research around your market before you've built this website. And I'm not sure whether that assumption is valid or not, but if it's not, certainly you want to check that. So just be aware that creating a website needs to start with the research and then build the website, as opposed to building the website and then trying to make it rank after the fact. So I hope that is useful for you. If you've got queries or questions, obviously please do let me know. I'm happy to answer any questions that crop up, and I look forward to talking to you soon. So I hope you've had a good Easter break and enjoyed the long weekend, and look forward to talking to you soon. All right, bye for now.